Here backstage at Blossom Music Center in Northeast Ohio. The Blow Monkeys are about to go on, and I'm here with Mick and Tony from the Blow Monkeys, who've been together since about 1982. Is that right?
That's correct.
Do you, who's the original lineup in the band?
Well, this is the original lineup.
You've kept the same band throughout all these years?
It's always been like this, unfortunately.
And how's the tour been going for you?
It's been going all right. We've been travelling around, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, South.
How long have you been on tour?
Here we've been on tour only a month.
And you've played in that time with Robert Palmer, Psychedelic Furs, and Boys Don't Cry. Has anything interesting happened?
Not in those dates. Quite a few things happened on our own dates, though.
Well,
We've had some interesting things. So we did a gig in Boston where it was flooded out. It was a big storm. It was in an amphitheatre, and it was like this huge bowl. And this storm happened, and they hadn't put the drains in yet.
So you had to cut the concert short.
We had to cut the concert.
Yeah, that was when the tornadoes hit.
How have the fans been receiving you on, say, for instance, with Robert Palmer as opposed to Boys Don't Cry? Do you seem to get a different audience?
Robert Palmer had quite an old sort of audience, and it wasn't that good for us. It was hard work, and they're very quiet. We only did 2 shows with Boys Don't Cry, and they opened for us, so it's hard to judge what audience they had. And with the Psychedelic Furs, it's been very good.
Your first album was Animal Magic, and first album here. How many albums have you had in Europe?
We've had another album out in the UK and Europe prior to that.
Titled?
Limping for a Generation.
And that was your first album then?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Has the sound pretty much stayed the same? Could you say your first album sounded like your last album?
It's gotten a lot more dancey.
You're more dancey, and I understand you put a lot of style into your stage show also, is that right?
Well, we try to. It's hard when it's hot over here.
Do you have a name for the next album yet?
Well, we're still just working on the backing tracks. We've only worked on 2 tracks yet, but the working title is Reality Would Be the Death of Me.
Well, that's an interesting title. How'd you come up with that one, or is it just...
Yeah,
it's pretty basic, right?
Yeah, right. You can't get
Who's the producer?
Probably be Michael Baker. He's been working on the tracks. He was the one that remixed and re-recorded parts of Digging Your Scene for us in New York. So he's got a very dancey sort of feel, so I think that's where the new LP will be going.
Well, okay, I understand you have a new single out. Could you give me the name and maybe a little story behind it if you have one?
Yeah, this is another track from the LP. It's called Wicked Ways. It's been remixed from the LP version, and it was remixed by John Morales. Quite a funky track.
And it's out right now, I understand.
Yeah.
And it's playing on commercial radio, which is a fairly new thing for you here in the States.
Yeah, that's right. I believe we started on college radio, but we seem to crossed over with the new stuff.
And that's great, and hopefully your momentum from this album will take you on to bigger and better things. Do you have anything planned, or...?
World domination. No, next year I think we're going to be doing a world tour next year, so we'll be back here maybe for a little bit longer.
Well, that's great. Good luck to both of you. It was a great pleasure meeting you.
Thanks, Tom.
Cheers.